must march to Jerusalem first.
Allah will let you conquer Jerusalem. Assalamu alaikum, Omar bin Khattab.
Abu Ubaidah gave the Islamic flag to Khalid bin Walid and sent him first to Jerusalem with 5,000 horsemen. Then he sent Yazid bin Abu Sufyan with 5,000 horsemen, who went there after Khalid and roared the slogan, Allah is great. Hence several segments of armies with their leaders came to Jerusalem, one after the other, with slogans of Allahu Akbar, Allah is great. The city was strongly fortified, and the Muslim armies surrounded the entire city and cut off all the outside supplies. The Christians inside the city showed about the siege.
On the fourth day, Commander Abu Ubaidah sent a letter to the Christians asking them to accept Islam.
On the fifth day of the siege, Yazid bin Abu Sufyan went near the wall of the city and spoke to an interpreter. He gave them three choices. Number 1, accept Islam. Number 2, pay jizya and be secured by the Islamic State. Or number 3, fight. The people of Jerusalem refused all the three offers. The siege continued for 3 months with no results. After 3 months of embargo, the Roman Christians inside the city began to feel the pinch. They came to the Patriarch Sophronius and complained about the problems of food shortage in the city. He told the people that if the Caliph of the Muslim army would come here, our defeat would be inevitable. The Christians asked him why. Sophronius said that a certain knowledge has been inherited, and the old books indicated that a tall colored person with big eyes, who would be the leader of the people, and who would be the companion of a prophet. If this leader would come to Jerusalem, it would be impossible to fight him and even challenge him. The Patriarch told the Muslim that if their leader matches the description that he knows from the books, he would surrender Jerusalem to him. This information has been taken from the Arabic historians like Ibn Kathir, Ibn Atir, al-Waqidi. Abu Ubaidah wrote a letter to Caliph Omar, may Allah be pleased with him, to come to Jerusalem and complete the conquest of Jerusalem without bloodshed. Caliph Omar decided to travel to Jerusalem. During his absence from Medina, Caliph Omar appointed Ali ibn Talib in charge. Caliph Omar followed Quran and Sunnah to the literal meaning. He left Medina with a camel and one helper. He decided to walk half and half, and his helper the same. When they came to Jerusalem, it was his helper's turn to sit on the camel and Omar's turn to walk. The Christian Romans were highly impressed by Omar's act of justice and concern for his servant. Caliph Omar, may Allah be pleased with him, was well received by the leaders of the army, and the Caliph came and stood on the hill of Mukabir with the roaring slogans, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. They mounted the flag of Islam on this mountain and viewed the city of Jerusalem. The Patriarch Sophronius sent a person to meet the Caliph and provide him his description. Then Sophronius himself viewed the Caliph through the windows of his fort carefully and was convinced that the Caliph Omar matched the description he had learned from the books. He consented to surrender the city to the Muslims without a fight. Caliph Omar wrote the famous Declaration of Victory and signed it, witnessed by such great men of Islamic history, Khalid bin Walid, Amr bin al-As, Abdur Rahman bin Auf, Mawiyah bin Abu Sufyan. The Christian Patriarch of Jerusalem, Sophronius, asked Caliph Omar to include in his declaration that Jews be not permitted to stay in Jerusalem. This was one of the conditions of surrender of Jerusalem to the Muslim Caliph Omar by the Christians. The declaration was signed at the Mount of Olives. Now, let us read this declaration of victory by Caliph Omar.
العهدة العمرية. أخذ نص هذه العهدة من كتابي البداية والنهاية لابن كثير الجزء السابع صفحة 56، الكامل في التاريخ لابن الأثير الجزء الثاني صفحة 349. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. هذا ما أعطى عبد الله عمر أمير المؤمنين أهل إيلياء من الأمان. أعطاهم أمانا لأنفسهم وأموالهم ولكنائسهم وصلبانهم وسقيمها وبريئها وسائر ملتها. أنه لا تسكن كنائسهم ولا تهدم ولا ينتقص منها ولا من خيرها ولا من صلبهم ولا من شيء من أموالهم، ولا يكرهون على دينهم، ولا يضار أحد منهم، ولا يسكن بإيلياء معهم أحد من اليهود. وعلى أهل إيلياء أن يعطوا الجزية كما يعطي أهل المدائن، وعليهم أن يخرجوا منها الروم واللصوص، ومن خرج منهم فإنه آمن على نفسه وماله حتى يبلغوا مأمنهم، ومن أقام منهم فهو آمن، وعليه مثل ما على أهل إيلياء من الجزية. ومن أحب من أهل إيلياء أن يسير بنفسه وماله مع الروم ويخلى بيعهم وصلبهم، وأنهم آمنون على أنفسهم حتى يبلغوا مأمنهم. ومن كان بها من أهل الأرض فمن شاء قعد، وعليه مثل ما على أهل إيلياء من الجزية، ومن شاء سار مع الروم، ومن شاء رجع إلى أهله. لا يؤخذ منهم شيء حتى يحصد حصادهم. وعلى ما في هذا الكتاب عهد الله وذمة رسوله وذمة الخلفاء وذمة المؤمنين إذا أعطوا ما عليهم من الجزية. التوقيع أمير المؤمنين عمر بن الخطاب. كتب وحضر سنة 15 للهجرة. شهد على ذلك خالد بن الوليد، عمرو بن العاص، عبد الرحمن بن عوف، معاوية بن أبي سفيان.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. This was given by the servant of Allah, Omar, the commander of the faithful, to the as a security for themselves
And their properties, their church with their crosses, the sick and healthy, and all their followers. Their churches must not be possessed nor destroyed, not anything to be taken out of them. None of their offsprings or of their wealth is to be taken out. They are not to be forced to abandon their religion, nor to be oppressed. Not any Jew has the right to live in this city. The people of Jerusalem must pay jizya tax like those of the other cities. They must drive the Romans away. He who leaves the city on his own will and wish he and his relatives and his wealth will be protected until he reaches the destination. And he who chooses to stay in the city will be protected by us and has to pay a tax. If an immigrant of Jerusalem wishes to leave the city or return to his original country, he has the right to do so and will be secured along with wealth and relatives until he reaches the safe destination. All other residents in the city have the right to stay and pay jizya tax. No jizya shall be collected, partial or full, from anyone until the crops are harvested. This document is secured by the vow of Allah and his apostle and the vows of the caliphs and all subject to the payment of jizya. Signed, Omar bin Khattab. Witnessed by such great men of Islamic history, Khalid bin Walid, Amr bin al-As, Abdur Rahman bin Auf, Muawiyah bin Abu Sufyan. Caliph Omar and the entire Muslim army moved into the city peacefully, and Caliph Omar immediately ordered the identification of the rock from which Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, had ascended to the heavens. The rock was identified. It was covered with dust. The Caliph and the companions of the Prophet Muhammad personally cleaned this rock with their own clothes. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, had mentioned about this rock in his narration of Miraj. There was nothing else in this area. It was a land full of dirt. The Caliph then decided to build a mosque toward the south of this rock, and not to the north, because he did not want the rock to be in between the mosque and Mecca. The mosque was built about 500 feet to the south of the rock. It was the mosque built with wooden planks. Prayers were held. The Caliph Omar marked the boundary of the entire area, including the rock and the mosque. This entire area, approximately 140 acres, was identified as Al-Aqsa Mosque. Of course, the name Al-Aqsa Mosque comes from the Honorable Quran. It may be noted that in Mecca, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his companions prayed facing Jerusalem for 16 months. Then they were ordered by Allah to face Kaaba in Mecca, and thereafter Kaaba became the Qibla for all the Muslims in the world.